The United Nations continues to make its moves, and all they have to do is be very crafty with their wording, and they can glaze over a lot of the masses. Now, the United Nations International Action Network on Small Arms, or INSA, is finishing up their global week of action against gun violence. Now, the whole goal of this week-long meeting is for them to advocate collectively for an end to illicit trade and the misuse of small arms and light weapons. You're not talking about heavy guns. Now, you should know what this really means. The United Nations, they presume that they have authority over every human on the planet. And such, they seek to ban guns from those that they want to control. Now, of course, they're not going to come right out and say it in that manner. It took other groups decades before they simply came out and admitted what they wanted to do in terms of coming for the guns. Now, according to the town hall, this week-long initiative took place 1 month before the third review conference, or RevCon 3, on the UN program of actions to prevent, to combat, and to eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons. 2005, the UN also adopted the International Tracing Instrument, which is a politically binding instrument, so to speak, that requires that states ensure that weapons are reported properly and that they're marked and recorded. It also provides the framework for cooperation in weapons tracing. Now, this fulfills one of the commitments that was made in the program of action, and this improves weapons tracing that is now part of the 2030 agenda. So if you haven't heard of it, we've talked about the 2030 agenda many times, what they're pushing, where it's all going, and here's some key things to make note of here. Their goals on their website say that they need to exert greater control over ammunition, which is the component that makes guns lethal. Another step is they say they need to make concrete commitments to increasing women's participation in small arms control. Do you hear this? They're looking to use women en masse to push their gun control agenda. This is on their website. They look to provide greater support for survivors of gun violence. Of course, they're going to use them as their own tools. As we've seen time and time again, they're going to politicize all these events, some of which I believe they've had a hand in. They say crack down on corruption that facilitates the illicit trade in small arms and ammunition. And then it says, enact or strengthen legislation to disarm domestic violence abusers. Now, all of that may sound good on the outside, or that even that last one for domestic violence abusers. But as we've witnessed in California, the problem with that is any old stranger can call up the cops that has a beef with you and say, oh, this guy's a threat. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to come and they're going to take your gun away from you because any old average Joe said that you're a threat, and they're going to make you prove your sanity. Does this even sound like America to you anymore? Doesn't to me. Now this next one, and this should say it all. This shows what they're wanting to really do. They say that they should engage media outlets to ensure that gun control and disarmament remain a priority in every country, linking it with RevCon 3. This is all on their INSA website. So, I'm going to leave a link here if you want to read up on it. I'm going to talk about this further this Friday night, Underground World News Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, Dabu 77. This is important, and it ties right into 2030 agenda. I hope people are paying attention. This has been Dabu 7. Peace.